part of Lagos, Surulere, was a place that every woman in the city had heard of, the renowned salon known as Ifeoma's crown. It wasn't just the precision of the haircuts, the vibrant colors, or the unique braiding styles that made it famous. It was Madame Ifeoma herself, a woman who was rumored to possess magical hands that worked faster than the eyes could follow. Words had it that she could transform any hair into something divine in mere minutes, a skill that had earned her a loyal clientele from across the city. Zara, a young woman from Oyo, had recently moved to Lagos in search of a fresh start. She had heard her friend Durojaye sing praises of Madame Ifeoma's salon, particularly how quickly the stylist worked. "You won't believe your eyes when you see how fast she does your hair," Durojaye had said, excitement evident in her voice. But Zara had always been skeptical. "No mirrors?" she had asked. "How could you trust someone to style your hair if you can't see it?" Durojaye had laughed. "Trust me, Zara, once you step out of that salon, you will look like a queen. Mirrors are just overrated." Despite her doubts, Zara found herself at Ifeoma's crown one hot afternoon, eager to see the woman behind the legend. As she walked through the door, she was greeted by the bushy hum of activity. Women of all ages sat in front of stylists, some having their hair braided, others with intricate weaves being placed into their natural hair. The atmosphere was lively, filled with the sound of chatter and laughter. But what caught Zara's attention the most was the absence of mirrors. There were no reflective surfaces in sight. No one could see their hair until it was finished. Madame Ifeoma herself greeted Zara warmly, ushering her into a seat. Zara hesitated, glancing around at the bustling salon. "Are you sure about this?" she asked softly. "I can't see what you are doing." Madame Ifeoma smiled, never wavered. "No need for mirrors, my dear. Just relax and trust the process. You will love the results." There was an air of calm confidence about the woman, and Zara decided to let go of her reservations. As Ifeoma's hands began their work, Zara was amazed at how fast she moved. The braids began to take shape as Ifeoma's fingers weaved in and out of the strands with an ease that made Zara dizzy. She couldn't believe how quickly the transformation was happening. It was as if time itself had slowed down, and Zara found herself lost in the rhythm of Ifeoma's work. But as the minutes passed, Zara began to feel an unsettling sense of unease. The speed at which Ifeoma walked was beyond anything she had ever seen before. It wasn't just fast, it was almost unnatural. "How do you do this?" Zara asked, her voice trembling slightly. Ifeoma chuckled softly. "It is a gift, my dear. When you love something, it becomes effortless." The conversation drifted, and before Zara knew it, Ifeoma had finished her hair. She stood up, amazed by the flawless work, yet still troubled by the absence of mirrors. How could she know if her hair truly looked as perfect as it felt? But the moment she stepped outside, the compliments came flooding in. People on the street stopped to admire her, some even asking where she had gotten her hair done. Despite her uncertainty, Zara couldn't help but smile. Maybe Durojaye had been right after all. Zara's curiosity about the no mirror policy lingered in her mind long after she left Ifeoma's salon. She had never encountered anything like that. In most salons, mirrors were the centerpiece. How else could one judge the quality of their hair? But at Ifeoma's crown, it was the exact opposite. No mirrors, not a single reflective surface in sight. When Zara returned home, She found herself nervously admiring her braids in the dim light of her apartment, wondering if they really were as beautiful as everyone said. But the questions kept coming to her mind. Why had Madame Ifeoma created this strange rule? And what was it that made her so special? How was it that she could braid hair so quickly? There had to be more to this than just ordinary skills. Later that night, Zara called Duro Jaye, hoping to get some answers. Duro, Zara began, I need to know more about Ifeoma. How does she do it? What is the deal with the mirrors? Duro Jaye's voice dropped with a whisper. You have noticed, eh? It is not just no mirror thing. It is her hands. Some people say there is something off about them. That she is not just talented, but that she has something extra. Zainab's heart skipped a beat. What do you mean? Like magic? I don't know, Duro Jaye replied. But there are rumors. Some say Ifeoma made a deal with someone, that her hands became faster, more powerful after she met a certain person. Someone who gave her something. I don't know the details, but I have heard the whispers. Zara's curiosity deepened. Could it be true? Had Ifeoma truly made a deal for her remarkable talents? Zara had to know more. Over the next few days, Zara paid close attention to the salon's reputation, speaking with other clients and observing the strange energy in the air. No one seemed willing to speak openly about Ifeoma, but everyone had a story to tell about the mysterious woman. Someone spoke of her kindness, others about her odd, distant demeanor when she wasn't styling hair. But one thing was certain. Everyone who had ever visited Ifeoma's crown seemed to leave a deep sense of admiration for the woman's crafts. No one asked questions. No one questioned the speed or the oddity of the mirror. Zara couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to Ifeoma than meets the eyes. As Zara continued to frequent Ifeoma's salon, the sense of mystery only deepened. Every time she sat in the chair, she couldn't help but feel as though something was off. The speed at which Ifeoma walked was uncanny, too fast to be natural. It wasn't just the braiding, it was everything. The way she moved, the way her hands flew across her head without missing a beat. Zara could feel the tension in the air, the anticipation of something unexplained, something almost supernatural. One day, as Zara sat in the chair for another session, she noticed a woman in the corner of the salon speaking urgently to one of the assistants. The woman's face was filled with distress, and though Zara couldn't hear the conversation, she could see the worry etched into the woman's expression. Zara's curiosity got the better of her, and she watched the exchange closely. It was as though the woman knew something that Zara didn't. Moments later, Ifeoma began to braid Zara's hair again, her hands moving so quickly that Zara almost couldn't follow the motion. It was then that Zara noticed something strange. Her hair was moving on its own. The strands of hair, twisted and braided by Ifeoma's fingers, seemed to be shifting and adjusting, as though they were alive. Zara blinked, unsure if she was imagining it. The movement was subtle but unmistakable. She froze. The air in the salon felt charged and electric. Zara couldn't explain what she was seeing, but there was no denying it. Ifeoma's hands weren't just braiding her hair. They were somehow manipulating it with a power that felt otherworldly. Zara's mind raced. Was it magic? Or was there some other explanation to the strange phenomenon? Is something wrong? Ifeoma's voice interrupted Zara's thoughts. Zara looked up, startled, meeting the woman's calm, composed gaze. She forced a smile, trying to push away the uneasy feeling in her chest. No, nothing is wrong, Zara replied, trying to sound casual. It is just that, I don't know, it feels strange. Ifeoma's lips curled into a slight smile. Don't worry, my dear. It is all part of the process, trust me. You will love the results. The more she saw, the more questions she had. Something about Ifeoma's talents didn't sit right with her, and she was determined to uncover the truth. She reached out to Duro Jaye again, eager to learn more about Madam Ifeoma's past. This time, Duro Jaye sounded more conscious. Her voice tingled with hesitation. Zara, you are starting to ask questions, and that's not something you should do lightly. People in Lagos know better than to dig too deep into Ifeoma's life. But I guess you are not going to stop, are you? Zara shook her head, even though Duro Jaye couldn't see her. No, I need to know. Something is not right, Duro. I can feel it. Duro Jaye sighed. Okay, but you have to be careful. I don't know the full story, but I have heard that Ifeoma didn't always have these gifts. There was a time when she struggled, when she couldn't even do a simple braid without taking hours. But everything changed when she met a woman, a mysterious woman who gave her a vial of oil. They say this woman was no ordinary person. After Ifeoma used the oil, she became different. Her hands moved faster. Her braids became perfect. She started getting more clients, and eventually she built Ifeoma's crown. But there's a price for everything. Zara, people say that the woman's gift wasn't free, that Ifeoma made a deal with her, a deal she regrets now. Zara was silent for a moment. The pieces were starting to fall into place. Ifeoma's speed, her talents, and the erring way her hands moved. All of it seemed too good to be true. Determined to get to the bottom of this, Zara made a plan to confront Madam Ifeoma herself. Zara's mind was buzzing with questions. She couldn't stop thinking about what Duro Jaye had told her. The mysterious woman, the oil, and the price Ifeoma had paid for her magical hands. It was clear now that Ifeoma was hiding something dark, and Zara would stop at nothing to find out. When Zara arrived at the salon, she was greeted by the usual hustle and bustle. Women were getting their hair done, chatting, laughing, and flipping through magazines. The soothing scent of hair oil and fragrances filled the air. But today, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. She noticed the familiar absence of mirrors and the silence that seemed to hang over the place. Madam Ifeoma was nowhere to be found, but Zara wasn't able to wait around. She needed answers now. She walked up to one of the stylists, a young woman named Ngozi, who was busy braiding a customer's hair. Zara leaned in, her voice low. "Where is Madam Ifeoma? I need to speak with her." Ngozi paused for a moment, glancing nervously around the room. "She is at the back. She has not been herself lately. Something is off about her. I think she knows you are starting to ask too many questions." Zara frowned. "What do you mean?" Ngozi looked around again, then whispered, "I have worked here for a while now, and I have seen things, strange things. Sometimes, when the moon is full, Ifeoma talks to herself. You should be very careful. Stay away from Ifeoma. She is not who you think she is." With that, Ngozi returned to her work, leaving Zara to contemplate her words. Zara knew she couldn't live without confronting Ifeoma. Zara made her way to the back of the salon, where the atmosphere was quieter and more secluded. There, in the corner, sat Madam Ifeoma, her back to Zara, as she carefully brushed her own hair. She looked up as Zara entered, her expression unreadable. "I have been expecting you," Ifeoma said, her voice calm but with an edge of something unsettling. "I know why you are here." Zara took a deep breath, trying to steady her nerve. "I need to know the truth. Ifeoma, what is going on here? Who is this woman you met? What did she give you? What is the price you had to pay for your gifts? Ifeoma's face remained impassive. She stood up slowly, turning to face Zara. You have been asking too many questions, my dear, she said softly, but I suppose you deserve to know. Ifeoma walked towards Zara. I never wanted this. I never wanted the gift that woman gave me. But I was desperate. My salon was failing. I was on the brink of losing everything. Then she came to me, offering something I couldn't refuse. Zara felt a chill run down her spine. Who was she? Ifeoma paused, her eyes darkening. She's a spirit, a powerful one. I don't know her true name, but she calls herself Omo Olokun. She is a goddess of water and magic, one who deals in powers in exchange for souls. Zara's heart skipped a beat. A goddess? You made a deal with a goddess? Ifeoma nodded slowly. Yes. She offered me the power to transform my salon to become the best in Lagos, to have hands that could work magic. But in exchange, she took a part of me, a part of my soul, and now I am bound to her. Every time I braid a strand of hair, every time I style a client, I give away a piece of myself. Zara was horrified. So you have been selling your soul, all for the fame and successes of your salon. Ifeoma looked away, her eyes filled with regrets. I didn't understand the cost at first. I thought I was getting something wonderful, something I deserved, but the power, the speed, none of it came without consequences. The more I give, the more I lose, and now I cannot stop. Zara felt a wave of sympathy for the woman standing before her. And the mirrors? Zara asked. Why are there no mirrors in the salon? Ifeoma's lips curled into a bitter smile. The mirrors, they are the one thing that still ties me to the real world. If I look into them, I see the truth of what I have become, of what I have lost. That's why I removed them, so I could keep pretending. Zara's mind was racing. She had already thought of Ifeoma as just a talented stylist, but now she realized the depth of the woman's pain. Ifeoma wasn't just working with magic, she was bound to it, trapped by her own choices. I can help you, Zara said, her voice firm. We can find a way to break this course. I will help you make things right. Ifeoma's eyes softened for a moment, but then she shook her head. It is too late for that, Zara. I have already paid the price. The deal is done. There's no going back. The weight of Ifeoma's words settled heavily on Zara's chest. But Zara wasn't the type to give up easily. She couldn't walk away from this, not after learning the truth. Ifeoma had made a deal with the goddess, but this didn't mean the deal couldn't be undone. I am not leaving until I find a solution, Zara said firmly, her voice filled with determination. Ifeoma looked at her, a mixture of exhaustion and resignation in her gaze. You think you can break the deal? Ifeoma asked, her voice tingled with skepticism. Omo Olokun is not someone you can outsmart. She is ancient, powerful, and she does not care about your good intentions. Zara took a step closer. I don't care how powerful she is. If there's a way out, I will find it. I promise you, Ifeoma, I won't leave you like this. Ifeoma's eyes softened for a moment, and Zara could see the vulnerability behind the woman's hardened exterior. You are brave, Zara, Ifeoma said quietly, but you don't understand the price. Omo Olokun's magic doesn't just take your soul. It takes your very existence, and once she's claimed you, you are hers forever. Zara swallowed hard, but she didn't waver. She wasn't about to let Omo Olokun win, not without a fight. I'll figure it out, Zara said. I don't know how yet, but I will. I won't let her keep you trapped like this." As she turned to leave, Ifeoma's voice stopped her. "Be careful, Zara. Some truths are better left unknown." Zara glanced back at the woman, her heart heavy with the knowledge that the path she was about to walk would not be easy. But she couldn't back down now. The stakes were too high, and she had to find a way to free Ifeoma from the dangerous bargain she had made. The next day, Zara set out to find answers. She had to find Omo Olokun to understand the full extent of the goddess's power and, more importantly, how to break the curse. She reached out to her aunt, Nneka, who was known in the family as a spiritual healer. Nneka had always been connected to the traditional ways of their people, and Zara hoped she could offer guidance. When Zara arrived at Nneka's house, the older woman was sitting by a small fire, grinding herbs in a mortar. Her home smelled of incense and burning sage, a place of peace and ancient knowledge. Zara sat down in front of her aunt, her heart heavy with the weight of what she had learned. "Auntie Nneka, I need your help," Zara began, her voice full of urgency. Nneka stopped grinding the herbs and looked at her niece, her eyes narrowing in thoughts. "What have you gotten yourself into, my child?" Zara hesitated, then told Nneka everything about Ifeoma's transformation, the mysterious woman Omo Olokun, and the deal that they had made. Nneka listened quietly, her face unreadable, but Zara could see the concern in her eyes. "You have walked into a dangerous situation, Zara," Nneka said softly. "Omo Olokun is not a spirit you want to cross. She is the goddess of water, a deity of great power, and she demands a heavy price for what she gives. But as with all spirits, there is a way to undo the damage. It won't be easy." Zara leaned forward. "What do I need to do?" Nneka sighed deeply. "Firstly, you need to understand that Omo Olokun feeds on the souls of the dead spirits. She preys on those who are willing to give up everything for power. Ifeoma wasn't the first to make such a bargain, and she won't be the last. But to break the deal, you must find the place where Omo Olokun's power is strongest, the River of Souls." Zara frowned her brow. "Where is this River of Souls? How do I find it?" Nneka's expression grew serious. "It is not a place you can find easily. It is hidden in the depths of Lagos, beneath the city itself, in the underworld of water and spirits. You will need to perform a ritual, a journey of sorts to reach it, and once you are there, you must confront Omo Olokun herself." Zara felt a wave of fear rush through her, but she quickly pushed it aside. This was the only way to save Ifeoma, and she wasn't about to back down. "I will do it," she said, her voice firm. "Tell me what I need to do." Nneka nodded. "You need a sacrifice, something of great personal value. It could be a memory, an object, or even a part of your soul. But be warned, Zara, the River of Souls will test you. It will show you things you fear, things you regret. You must be prepared for what is to come." Zara's heart pounded as she realized the enormity of what lay ahead. "I understand, but I will do whatever it takes." "Very well," Nneka said. "I will prepare the ritual for you, but remember, Zara, once you enter the River of Souls, you may not return the same." With Nneka's help, Zara spent the next several days gathering the items she would need for the ritual: herbs, candles, and sacred objects passed down through generations. She also had to find her own personal sacrifice, something that would allow her to cross into the spirit world. It wasn't easy, but Zara found a small pendant, an old family heirloom that her grandmother had given her before she passed. It was the one item that held the most meaning to her, and Zara knew it was the right choice. The night of the ritual, Zara stood, the pendant in her hand, ready to face the unknown. "Are you ready?" Nneka asked. Zara nodded. "Yes, I am ready." Nneka began chanting in a language Zara didn't understand, her voice rising and falling like the sound of waves crashing on the shore. As the chanting grew louder, the air around them seemed to shift, and Zara felt herself being pulled towards something deep and ancient. Then, in the blink of an eye, the world around her disappeared, and Zara found herself standing at the edge of a vast river, its waters dark and swirling with a strange energy. The moment Zara stepped into the water, she was flooded with visions, memories of her past, regrets from her childhood, moments of pain and loss that she had buried deep inside. The water tugged at her, pulling her deeper into the river, but Zara held on, determined to continue. As she descended further, the river began to glow with an iron light, and she could feel the presence of Omo Olokun. The goddess was near, watching her every move. Zara had heard stories about the goddess, but nothing could have prepared her for the immense power that filled the air. The water seems to pulse with energy, alive with the essence of countless souls who had made the same bargain that Ifeoma had made. Finally, Zara reached a clearing in the river, and there, something on the platform made of water and mist was Omo Olokun. The goddess was a vision of beauty and terror, her body shifting between human and aquatic forms, her eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. "So you have come," Omo Olokun said. "I knew it would only be a matter of time before someone would try to break the deal. But you are too late, child. The price has been paid." Zara stood tall, despite the fear that gripped her heart. "I am here to take Ifeoma's soul back. You cannot keep her here like this." Omo Olokun laughed, a sound like waves crashing on rocks. "You think you can undo what has been done? You are a mere mortal. You cannot break a bargain made with a goddess." "I will try," Zara replied, her voice steady. "I am not leaving without her." The goddess stepped forward, her presence overwhelming. "Very well," she said, "but know this, for every soul I release, another must take its place." Zara felt the weight of those words sinking. There were no escaping the costs, but she had already given so much, and she wasn't about to let Ifeoma suffer any longer. "I am willing to pay," Zara said, her voice unwavering. Omo Olokun studied her, her gaze piercing. "You are brave, child, but remember, the river always takes what it is owed." With that, the goddess extended her hand, and the water around Zara began to swirl. The air grew heavy, and Zara felt a sharp pain in her chest as she made her decision. She placed the pendant in the water, offering it as her sacrifice. The river roared, and Zara felt herself pulled under. For a moment, everything went dark, but when she opened her eyes again, she was standing back on solid ground, the river now calm, its powers subdued. Ifeoma stood beside her, looking confused but free. "You did it," Ifeoma whispered, her voice shaky. "You saved me." Zara nodded, her heart still pounding. "We are free." But as Zara looked at Ifeoma, she knew that the journey had taken something from her as well. She had paid the price. The weight of the river's power was still within her, a reminder of the cost of knowledge and sacrifice. The goddess's voice echoed in the distance, a warning and a promise. The river always takes what it is owed. But for now, Zara had done what she set out to do, and had saved Ifeoma from the curse that had bound her, and in doing so, had changed the course of both their lives. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Also, turn on your notification bell to get notified on our next episode. Also, take a look at the playlist above for more interesting stories. See you on the next one. Bye.